I'm in the middle of working out what the exterior is going to be. As you can see, I've kind of built it up a lot more. Like, none of this is final yet, so don't think that, well, you're probably seeing what it what it ends up finally looking like. So I don't know, like, let me know actually, how many of you watch the behind the scenes first to see me designing it and then watch it in my lovely world? And how many of you have already seen my lovely world and now you're just kind of seeing how I ended up, designing it? Like, which way around? Or maybe you only watch behind the scenes, or maybe you only watch Lovely World, in which case you're not watching this. So I don't know who I'm talking to right now. Anyway, so this is what I've got. So I did the pattern, and then I started building it up higher. I realized it's just too flat of a wall, and I kind of wanted to move it in a little bit and kind of add a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit more dimension to it. So I kind of did the pattern up again, and I kind of changed it a little bit because I made it go thinner because it went in one. Then I also added in these daylight sensors, and it kind of had the added benefit of also turning some of them on. And I know I said that none of them were going to be on, but that looks pretty good, doesn't it? Especially if we could even switch. Like, what we could do is we could switch some of them like this. Oh, this could be cool. We could like alternate it. So some are like that, and then some are like this. And then that way, if you don't know how these work, so say you're being here in the daytime, it would be like this. Then if it was nighttime, it would be like this. So it would basically switch. So the ones that were, is it gonna nighttime? Yeah, so if it goes to nighttime, then it basically switches the ones that are on. That could be pretty smart, couldn't it? I do quite like that. So yeah, that might be what I do with the daylight sensors. But the main reason I added them was just for the decoration on the top up here, which I think looks pretty nice. It does kind of ruin it a little bit having some of them blue, but I'm sure I could make a pretty cool pattern out of them. So yeah, this is kind of the design so far. So let's kind of carry on doing this pattern along here. So I go by 3, and then this is where the column goes up the middle like that, and then this goes 1, 2, 3 like this. And then I was thinking of going in once more. Then that will be the top. It's starting to get ridiculously tall because they generally are quite tall, and I do like the idea of you having really tall ceilings when you're on the inside, especially because there's not going to be a huge amount of space. I don't want it to feel like claustrophobic. I don't want you to feel packed in there. So I do like the idea of having tall ceilings. I don't know if I'm getting a little bit too tall, but I like it. I like the look of it. I want this to be a standout thing in my lovely world. It's such a different style. Like, I think if it was like a little thing, it would kind of blend in. But if this is like quite a tall thing and in this unique style, I think everyone who sees it, is gonna make note of it, and it's gonna kind of stand out to them in their mind. And this looks nice, doesn't it? This does look cool on the inside. Of course, there's big openings, and this back wall is going to be slightly different, but already it looks pretty good. So, all right, this is where we're going to start going in. Well, this kind of row here is the final part it's going to go in. So let's kind of just work out the pattern we have. So I'm kind of always doing these logs on the outside like this. And where does this go in? Does it go in here? Is that where it's supposed to go? Is it supposed to be like this? Yeah, that makes a square, doesn't it? So then it would be a column would be, let me just kind of throw it in however like that, and then there'd be another one here like, oh no, not like that. Let's go and switch this backward. That's going to annoy us all, isn't it? And go and put that back down on there like that. So yeah, this is kind of the last section we have to work with. So let's see what pattern we could do. So I always start with white wall on the edges, and then I kind of just play around until I see what looks good. So if we alternate with 2 there, then we have a gap of 3 in the middle. With this, we could kind of do almost the same as the last one, couldn't we? By having the column going up the middle like that. And then we can go up by, let's not go up 2 here. Let's just go up by 2 there like that. And then we can kind of carry on the same pattern. So we'll do a trail of the planks like this. And then maybe 2 more, which would once again have the daylight sensors on top of them on the top here. So then the daylight sensors go like, well, actually, no, this is going to be the final roof, isn't it? So the actual roof section there might be slightly different, but is that too much? I have a feeling that maybe that extra layer at the top, I think that is. I think that is a little bit too much. So let's have a look at it from the outside and kind of see what well, from the outside, it looks okay. No, I think it's too tall. It looks like too much like it's supposed to be like some high-rise building. It looks too tall, considering that it's basically a bungalow. Basically, there's only going to be 1 floor with anything built in it, and this is just headroom. I think this row here is too much. So this is going to be the roof. So it's going to go probably an almost a similar height. Well, pretty slightly under, but only with the roof rather than building up the walls beyond there. So yeah, I think kind of this height is how we need to go. And then I need to work out what material to have for the roof, because I don't know if it should be stone or a different type of wood or what style to go for. So what I think I'm going to do before I do that is I'm going to fill in the rest of the walls here. I'm going to work out what the front is going to be like. I also want to work out what this back wall is going to be like. And from that, I think it's going to be easier to work out exactly what style I want for the rest of the roof. But overall, I think this looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Looks like a pretty good start. I'm just not 100% on these lights, though. That is the thing. The more I look at them, the more I'm not sure about whether I like them. But there needs to be lights on it anyway, and not having torches would be quite nice. I never normally like having too many torches. So yeah, I'll have a play around, and I'll come back in once I've developed it a little bit further. And then at that point, this should be looking more like a complete building rather than part of a building. Check this out. Ta-da! This looks more like a building, doesn't it? I think I really like it. I'm happy with it so far. I know I probably sound big-headed saying, oh, I built it and I like it, but like when halfway through the build, I wasn't entirely sure if it would have the same look, but I think that it looks good. So I added a doorway here. As I said, I wanted like a bigger open doorway, so there's going to be no actual doors here. It's just going to be like this open archway, and I used kind of some of the same daylight sensors, and I think that looks nice. I added these fences around the bottom, and then some leading up to these kind of bits that poke up at the corner, and I think they work pretty well. And then, yeah, I've kind of just started working out on the roof, so it actually it fits in really nicely, because we're getting to the point where it's going to go to the top, and it's pretty thin in, so like it can't, like I can't go much higher, because I was getting worried that it was getting a little bit too tall and getting a little bit silly, but like I can't go, even if I just did this all the way until it went to pretty much a point in the middle, I wouldn't be able to go up much higher than this, because like there's not, I'm building quite a small square already. So I don't know, let's kind of build it to a point and let's see what it looks like, because I might do kind of another pattern kind of similar to those and maybe play around with some half slabs and stuff and kind of try to make the top a little bit more interesting. But let's do it to a point first, because that just might look good anyway, and if it does, then that's kind of the easier solution and what would be easiest to do in a video. So this is kind of going to be, I guess, the last row that I could do like this, and then I guess there'd be one block in the middle. Could maybe do it as a half slab. So let's go and check that out. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, it does look nice. I do think it needs, so it's too pointy. It looks like there's a pyramid on the top of it. So I definitely think that's too pointy. So let's kind of have a bit of a play around. So maybe on around this level, we could kind of just try and do something a little bit more interesting. Like maybe kind of do this here, and then maybe kind of go out in the same way I did down here. So there I used stairs. I don't know if I've really got room to use stairs here, but I could kind of go like and do 2 half slabs like this, and then maybe a block in the middle. Actually, if I do a half slab and then a block, like something like this. Like, I don't know if it's going to be exactly this, but something along these lines, just to make the top look a little bit more in the same style as everything else. So this is supposed to be a block on the top there. Are those both the same? Yep, they are. Then let's just go and try and do the same on these 2 down here. So half slab, half slab, half slab, block. Very simple to do. Like, it looks, like, looking at these designs, it looks way more complicated than it actually is. And then this part's a little bit too flat here for now, but I'm sure we could do something with that. But let's just see whether that looks any better than it did. That definitely looks better, I think. I think that's definitely an improvement. This bit here looks a bit weird for some reason. That's supposed to be a half slab there like that, but some sort of detail on the top. Oh, look at that. That looks cool. That looks really cool. I do think I need to sort out this top bit here. I could maybe do, I don't know, I could kind of play around with something on there as well. But overall, I think this is looking very, very nice. So all this section here is there's 2 blocks here. And the reason they're there is basically so these can be placed on something, because if it was like that, then the fences couldn't be placed on it. So that's why I added blocks there. And this section is just, once again, half slab there, stairs, and then it's a half slab with a block on. So that's literally all that bit there is. But overall, I am really, really happy with this. So I think the next step for me now is to I'll probably play around with this roof a little bit more until I'm absolutely like in love with it, but I'm pretty happy with that as a start. So it's only going to be a little bit of tweaking. And then I need to work out this back wall. I don't know if I'm going to do it in the same style as the rest, but it might be a chance to kind of play around with it a little bit. And then the floor as well. And I'm pretty certain I know how I want the floor to be. So I'm thinking black and white wall in like stripes. So mainly, well, let's kind of do a mock-up in here then. I might as well break away the floor. It's always easier to build when I don't build right next to the floor, but I always forget about it. The only thing is I don't know exactly where this back wall is going to be. Actually, I think the back wall should be there. I think that will work in quite well. And if there was only one block of space, it'd be too hard to press the buttons. Actually, it might even need more than that. Let's go back to my design here. So imagine if this was the back wall. So there'd be a doorway here. And then at the moment, I've only got 2 blocks of space, which means that this wall would be here. So is this too close for you to be able to press all of the buttons? I mean, it's a little, like, it would be nice to be a little bit further back because you are a bit cramped, but it does work. But let's see, what would it be like if this wall was on this level? Would this give you, I mean, obviously it gives you more room, but is this like a huge increase? Because I don't want to use up all of my space in the entire room just with this thing. But that is a lot nicer because I can press that there and look up. So maybe that, oh, it looks good. It looks good. I love it. I just turn around and see it again. It looks good. So maybe that back wall here should be along there. And that might even make it kind of fit in with the rest of the pattern a little bit better. But then this is how big the room is. And this is looking kind of teeny tiny at the moment. But let me just show you what I'm thinking for the floor anyway. And then we can kind of decide how big we want the room to be. So it's normally kind of stripes of it's not really white. It's more kind of cream. I think it's kind of wooden, kind of bouncy wooden planks or something. I've just been Googling pictures of dojos inside and out while kind of designing this to get my inspiration. So they all seem to change what the outside is a little bit, but the floor seems pretty consistent. So I'm thinking of kind of doing black lines. I don't know, I think I might do them along this way because that will allow me to have more of these stripes because obviously it's going to be wider than longer just because of the design. And I think maybe 2 white and then 1 black, 2 white, 1 black might work. Well, let's see how well this fits in. So white, white, black, white, white, black, white, white. Oh, look at that. That is perfect. Absolutely perfect. So this way, if this is the floor pattern, it doesn't really matter where that back wall is because it's not going to affect the pattern. But if I did them like horizontally, like left to right as I'm looking here, then that means that I might mess up the pattern if I move this back wall. But yeah, this shouldn't matter. So let me just kind of put these in and then let me just take a step back and just see how it looks and whether I think it looks right. But I'm thinking this is going to be good because the only other big option is maybe to not use white wool, to use something else. I definitely want the black wool, but I think that looks good. The only other option is if I use like birch or something and then, oh, the stripe is in the right way. Birch might actually be the way to go, you know. I think the birch might actually look a little bit nice and it's probably a little bit more accurate for how the design actually is. So maybe birch planks instead. And also because I've used a lot of white wool on the walls as well. So maybe having the birch will make it look a little bit different. So yeah, I think I've immediately changed my mind. This normally happens many, many, many times, but I think I definitely prefer this birch. And what about the black wool? Is there anything that could be better for the black wool? It normally does look like lines of black. So apart from using coal or something, which doesn't really make sense, I think that's looking pretty good. The only other thing is if I did less stripes, but how else could I do it? So say if there was a line of black there and then maybe 3 birch and then black wool, 3 birch, black wool, 1, 2, 3, and then black wool. That might be the only other option. So make a mental note of what this looks like, and now let me go and change it around because it fits in the same way, so it doesn't really make it any more difficult. So it'd be a black line here instead, like this, just because it did look a little bit too like the black. The problem is the black lines on actual dojos, they're quite thin. And on here, obviously, I can't really make them any thinner because everything's the shape of a block. But if I kind of made more birch in comparison, it kind of almost makes them seem a little bit thinner. So let's change this last stripe here to the birch planks as well. And let's see, let me know what you think. Do you prefer it less or more? I think I prefer it this way a little bit more. I think this actually looks a little bit better than it did before. So let me just replace this one I accidentally broke away there. And let's kind of fly up and have a look. I think I might do it like this. I think that looks a little bit better than the way it did before. So I'm pretty much settled with that. The ceiling, I don't need to do anything to it apart from get rid of these here. I kind of like having it so you can just look up to the top. So I don't need to change anything for the ceiling. I could possibly add some decoration on the inside here and maybe do like stairs around this area, because this is looking a little bit blocky on the inside, and I don't like that. So maybe if I wanted to, I could do stairs around the inside here. Like, this is the kind of addition that I wouldn't even bother making in a video so much. Like, I don't know, it would take so long to do this in survival, and it only makes a slight difference to what it looks like at the top. It's probably the kind of thing I'll do outside of video anyway, so it's the kind of stuff I don't need to nail down. But yeah, I think that might look a little bit nicer, and I will do the inside as well, but because I'm probably going to be changing the roof, there's no point doing that now. So yeah, this is amazing progress. So yeah, the next thing to do is to do the back wall and work out how that's going to fit in with everything else as well, because is it going to go all the way to the ceiling? How is that going to work? Maybe I scrap this fake wall idea and just have it as like a standout thing. So there could be a section that kind of just comes out, you know, from the wall like this and round to here, and then that is where it all happens. So that could kind of be a smarter way to do it. But yeah, I'll play around, have a workout with how that's going to work, and then the roof, and then we're almost there. It's just fitting in the parkour and the Zen zone, and then we're laughing. Okay, I'm pretty much finished with my dojo. So this is kind of how it ended up looking. This is what I did for the roof. So I kept it going to a point and had these side bits coming out, and that was kind of the best design I could come up with. I changed it like a million times, and then in the end I kind of went back to this, and I think that looks good, especially as most of the time you're going to be looking at it from down here or like from the side here, and I think that's when it looks best. I changed it so most of these are blue. There's some that I kept on just because they add most of the light on the inside during the day, but they're mainly blue, and I do prefer the look of them when they're not blue. But check out how cool it looks when it becomes nighttime and the place lights up. If I go and set it to night, check that out. I mean, that looks awesome, doesn't it? That just looks really good. The way it's like it's lit up like that. So I think overall that's worth it. I do prefer, I mean, even now I'm not sure. It's these that I'm not sure about, where they're not all the same. Tell you what, maybe we could do this. So this row is always on in the day, and then the top row is always on at the night, because it kind of annoys me now at the moment where they're half and half. And maybe I should just go and add a few more torches, because I think torches would fit in. It's not like when I don't like having torches is if I'm doing something that looks really modern, then I think that torches kind of just really stand out and just don't look good in that situation. But that isn't the case here. So I think having torches on it isn't going to look particularly bad. It was just kind of a nice cheeky benefit of having the redstone lamps to have them light up. So let's try it like this, and let's see how good this looks. So it might be too dark inside at night. I think I'm gonna have to add a few torches around here, maybe just like that and that. I think that will be okay for nighttime. And let's see how this looks. So that still looks good, doesn't it? And you got the lamps at the top. I think that looks okay. And then if we set it to today, then all of these bottom lights are going to come on, and we're going to have loads of light on the inside here. So this is the inside. So this is my little booth. I was able to do it like this rather than having the entire wall forward, because it would have been a bit of a mess. Because if I had to build like this wall up here, like it would have gone onto here, and it would have just made the whole roof really messy. So I was able to do it like this. I added this door, and this door looks amazing for this style. In a way, it's kind of a shame I don't have it on the front, but I think that it's fine just having it here. And then this is where you can stand. There's a little pit, and you can reach all of the buttons very easily just from standing down there. So that there works fine. This changed quite a lot. If you remember, my parkour originally was going to look like this, and I do love this design. I think that design looks great. If you're building a dojo yourself or some little parkour thing, feel free to steal this design and do it like this. But it just took up too much room, because the only way I could fit it in is if it was right in the very middle of the room, and then it kind of just dominates the room too much. And I wanted some open space, because it's supposed to be somewhere like where you're practicing karate, and so, you know, there needs to be an area for all of your sparring that you're going to do. So I left this area clear, and then I got pretty much the same design but separated. So this one is slightly smaller, but that's the easy one there, and then the more difficult one changed, and it's actually got more difficult. You have to go up like this, then you have to turn again, and then turn again, and then turn again. So that one, probably no one's going to be able to complete that if they are truly shutting their eyes. I'm sure if I tell people to shut their eyes, some people might be squinting or cheating, but if you do that properly, that's going to be near impossible. But I like the challenge. And then the other thing is the Zen Zone has sadly been scrapped. There's no room for it. There's just no room for it, and I could try and add something in, but it just didn't really make sense. And you know what? I think this is fine the way it is. The only other addition is up here. I added some half slabs, and that is because I didn't like seeing that. I didn't like the look of it, and then I added in the half slabs, and I think it kind of just makes the room look better anyway. Just adds once again a little bit more texture to the room as well. And then I did add the stairs upside down all the way to the top up there. So that is it then. That is the dojo created. I, as of now, don't have a name for it. The name of whatever I ended up naming it will be in the title of this video. So that's what I decided calling it. But at this point, I haven't yet decided what I'm going to call it, but I'm probably going to come up with the name while I'm recording it during my Lovely World episode. So if you haven't seen yet the Lovely World videos where I do build this, I can leave a link to them down in the description. There's often a few little changes and things I do different. I think probably this roof might end up being slightly different just because it'd probably be easier to improvise it than build it exactly the same. So yeah, feel free to try and spot any of them. But apart from that, there'll be plenty more Let's Talk behind the scenes and vlogs and things coming to this channel in the future. So yeah, if you want to see any of those things, you are already in the right place. But for now, once again, I want to thank you so much for watching one of these behind the scenes videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!